No one told me, hey, you need to budget. No one told me, you cannot buy the clothes. I don't know. I'm not saying you.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Life with Sam and Tiff. I'm Sam, and this is my lovely wife
Tiffany.
It seems like it's been a while since we've seen you guys, so it's good to see you again and to be with you. If you haven't already done so, would you subscribe to our channel, because we want to connect with you and we want you to connect with us as well. We hope that you're healthy and you're staying safe out there. One of the things that Tiffany and I, we have a passion for is healthy relationships, and that's why most of our videos are about healthy relationships, and we want that for each other and we want that for you as well. But in our pursuit of healthy relationships, we think that we may have made a mistake. We think that we may have done something that we did not intend to do, and it is this. We forgot to talk about the benefits and the greatness of being single. In fact, the focus of this video is to let you know that it is perfectly fine. It is perfectly okay to be single. In fact, it is a blessing to be single. Now, when I say single, I want you to know that there's singles in all different age groups, right? There's singles in your teens, singles in 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s and onward. If you are a parent, your children are single, and you are mentors and you are guiding your children to be healthy adult singles. So there's such a big category of singles, like there's those of you that are widows, there's those of you that are divorced singles, there's those of you that are singles and you're happy to be single, and there's those that are single and you want to be married, right? So there's no way for Tiffany and I to speak from your experience, but we can speak from our experience of being single and the benefits that we have experienced as people that have married later on in life. So we want to talk about the benefits and the great things about being single from our experience. So please know our heart in making this video. In this video, we want to promote staying single until you feel that you're ready to be in a relationship. Relationships can be such a blessing, but relationships with the wrong person at the wrong time can actually be detrimental for your health. And so we want to promote staying single so that you can be the best version of yourself when you're ready for a relationship. Hollywood and the media has this false idea of romantic relationships. They portray romantic relationships as two puzzle pieces coming together, or two half of a person coming together to make one person. And that's not an accurate picture of relationships. Relationships should be where one whole person comes together with another whole person, and they come together to make a marriage. So in this video, we want to promote that you stay single for as long as you feel that you should be, and don't rush into any relationships before you're ready to be in a relationship, because there's so much benefits of being single, and we want to talk to you about our experience and how that has been like for us. So with all that said, I'm gonna hand it over to my lovely wife Tiffany, and she's gonna tell you about her experience of being single, and then we're gonna cut to me after she speaks.
Yeah, thank you for giving us a nice introduction about what we're going to talk about in our video today. And it's actually, just like what Sam said, is dear to my heart, because I have so many friends who are single and they're still having a blast. It doesn't mean to say you're single, you need to be lonely, you need to be like, you feel like an outcast, but that is not true. So I'd like to share my experience as being single. So I married Sam when I was 30 and had no relationship in 10 years before meeting him and finally getting married. And in the Philippines, when you're 30, it's kind of late stage already, or like, let's say it's already late for you to get married because that's very old age. And I remember as well that my family, relatives, friends teased me a lot because I was single, sad to say. And it came to a point that every reunion time, I was like hesitant to go, or like I felt like I was not comfortable to attend because I know for sure they'll be asking me questions like, "Hey Tiffany, when are you getting married? Hey Tiffany, when are you going to introduce a boy to us?" You know, like they make fun of you, they tease you, and these kind of things made me lose my confidence. And sometimes I ask myself questions or even my worth, and to the point that one night I also asked God, and like saying, am I undesirable? Am I ugly? Am I unworthy? You know, you start to lose confidence, and you even start to question again God's timing and plan for you. However, looking back through my experiences, I have learned a lot of things, and I will share them to you. The first lesson that I want to share to you that I have learned is being single means more freedom. You see, when you're already married, just like right now, like me, or like even when you are in a relationship, you always need to consider that person's opinion, idea, point of view, even decision, or how they feel about your choices in life. So when you're single, you have no one. Of course, they're your parents, your families, you know, but it's different when you have someone directly involved in your relationship, like your significant other, your spouse, for example. So again, going back, when you're single, there's no one like that. You're free to do everything you want. You can pursue your dream. You can travel. So when I was single, I traveled a lot with my friends. We traveled domestically, internationally. We ate everything we wanted. No one would tell you, hey, you're not allowed to eat that, you know. I like chose the clothes I want. You know, you can be free, whatever you want yourself to be. And one thing that made me realize was also that I was more free to spend my own money.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, because when you're married, you need to always think that is the item I'm going to buy beneficial for our family? You know, you cannot spend as much as how you spent when you were single. So when I was single, I spent my salary according to what I want and what I wanted and what I needed. No one told me, hey, you need to budget. No one told me, you cannot buy the clothes. I don't know. I'm not saying you. But kidding aside, of course, there are things that would be very different if you have someone to, remind you that you need to use your money wisely when you're single, and you can like splurge everything for yourself. And of course, I'm not saying that having someone to remind you about these things is not good. You should have actually someone to remind you, because sometimes you overspend and you're out of the budget. So tendency is that you don't have something to use for tomorrow when there are emergencies. So I'm also actually very happy and blessed that I have Sam to remind me not to overspend. Thank you, Baba.
Yeah.
So again, when you're single, you have more freedom. The second lesson is being single means knowing yourself. I had a time of my life figuring out what are the things I wanted to do with my life. How would I fix the problems that I have? Like, not only my problems externally, but also internally. You know, I had some attitudes and behaviors that were not desirable when I was younger, because of course we are immature. And as experiences came in, as problems arrived, I have learned to overturn them. I have also learned to adapt to people who are hard to deal with. And these experiences of mine shaped me to who I am today. And based on my observation in a relationship, I don't know how people would comment on our relationship, but I'm telling from like people who are involved that I think and I believe our relationship is healthy. We have not fought, but I'm not saying like zero fighting. We had small misunderstandings, but nothing so grand. Like, we have never shouted at each other. Hopefully we will not. But so far, we have been so good in dealing with our differences, and we're so good in adjusting to if ever we have different opinion about things. And again, the reason for that is because we have come to terms with ourselves, with our past selves. We have become mature emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually. And just like what uni means sister in Korean, Sam's sister and family, our family from Colorado visited us just last week. And my brother, my brother Mark and Ellen Uni came here and told me about, you know, how it is difficult to be in a relationship when you're carrying luggage. Like, you have your own luggage like problems, and your spouse carried his luggage, and then when you're together, you have so many luggage already that you become overloaded with them, and then you start fighting. It's just like going to the airport. You know, there's like a certain like weight for your luggage, and if you're like, or like when you exceeded to that luggage, you need to pay for it. There's a consequence. It's the same rationale. So fix your luggage, okay? Don't carry them in your relationship. And then when you think you are emotionally prepared for that, I believe you are also emotionally prepared to be in a relationship. And again, being single means knowing yourself. The third lesson from me is being single means waiting for God's promise. In one church service that I have attended, our pastor said this, that waiting is actually a skill. Not everyone has this, but everyone should practice it. Two of the characters in the Bible that were impatient in God's promise were Sarah and Abraham. God promised them for a son, but Sarah put everything in her own hands. She became impatient. So what happened was she gave her servant Hagar to her husband Abraham so that they could have a baby together. And yes, they did have a baby together, and they had Ishmael, the son of Hagar and Abraham. And when it happened, it was originally her idea, but she did not like it. She got irritated, she got mad about it, and in short, it did not turn out well for her because she did not wait for God's promise. And so fast forward, she did receive God's promise after learning her own lesson. And what am I trying to say with this? What I'm trying to say is that don't rush into a relationship. Don't rush into marriage because you want to be in a relationship. Some people, even though they're not ready, you know, they did not enjoy being single yet, they did not discovered themselves yet. They have so many luggage and they feel like they're empty and they're looking for the puzzle piece of their life, rush into a relationship because they feel like this is the solution. But this is not the solution. Tendency is when you have these issues around you, there's a greater chance that you will have many problems along the way in your relationship. It may work, yes, but it will be a difficult path to take. And worst comes to worst, you may not have a successful relationship with your partner. So again, I like to tell you that wait for God's promise to you. Have faith in Him. God's timing and timeline is not our timeline. God always has a perfect timetable for your life. I think also reflecting in, again, with my relationship with Sam, I have realized, because we usually like tell each other what would have happened if we have met earlier, like in earlier days of our life when we were younger. And what would you say? And what would I say?
That I would have been...
Remember you asked me one time like, hey, he asked me one time, honey, when I meet you on the street, remember that question?
Oh, yeah.
What was the question?
If you met me earlier on in life, you were too busy. You were focused on your career and you probably would not have given me the time of day.
Yeah. And the question that you told me was, you forgot. No, you told me, honey, for example, if I met you on the street and then I'll tell you, hey, can I have your time, or like can I have coffee with you or something? That was like that. And then you said, would you like say yes? And I said, of course I won't. I will not go with you in the coffee shop. I said that to him because that time when I was younger, I don't want to be in a relationship with a total stranger. You know, I always would want to have someone who I would be friends with first.
Sure.
Yeah. And then I also realized that, the reason why God allowed me to be someone who's like very capable to be in a different scenarios, because I used to have different addresses like NPA, that's how we call it in the Philippines, no permanent address, is because I'm marrying him. Sam is actually in the military, and in the military you need to move from one place to another. So God was practicing me to this kind of lifestyle. So you see, whatever God is allowing to happen in your life is actually preparing you for His promises. And His promises are always great. And I'm so happy that I did not go to a relationship. God spared me. That I did not become desperate. So God gave me you. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. All that there is to say is that it's okay to be single. Though you have those kind of moments and times in your life that you question yourself, and sometimes you pray to God and question Him, don't let this go under your skin. Don't let yourself get too affected by it. So I did not get myself too affected by those issues, but rather I changed my perspective. You always need to look at the positive things, the brighter side. Don't dwell on the negative side. And I also had a better relationship with people around me. Choose to be with people who would also help you mold yourself. I had with me my friends whom I've traveled with wherever and whenever. So my relationship with them became bonded and greater. I was able to meet a lot of good people who supported me with everything. So you see, relationship does not, or like happiness from relationship does not only come from the opposite sex, or like your boyfriend, girlfriend, or getting into a marriage. You could also seek that or get that from the people around you, from important people around you, your family, your friends, your church mates, your pets, because some people they consider their pets as their family and they get affection from them too.
Sure.
So it's okay to be single. Enjoy your freedom, explore more, and you see and you will observe that everything will just fall into places in God's timing.
Yeah. Thanks, Tiffany, for telling us your experience of being a single person and all the benefits of being single. So I'll tell a little bit about my experience as well. I am currently 38 years old. I will be 39 next month in July. I married Tiffany when I was 37, so we just had our year anniversary just last week. So I'm almost 40, and I married later on in life. Most of my friends are married. They have children. They've been married for 10 plus years. So I waited a really long time to be married. I was one of those singles that told everybody that I didn't want to get married, but secretly in my heart, I actually did want to get married, and I was very lonely, and my loneliness led me into relationships that I was not ready for. I made promises that I could not keep, and the result was a broken heart, both ways, me hurting others and my heart being broken as well. So that taught me a very important lesson, and I'd like to share that with you. One of the things that it taught me was the importance of learning more about myself and being comfortable in my own skin. One of the benefits of being single and even waiting later on in life was that I became comfortable with who I was. I dealt with a lot of heart issues. I created some good, healthy habits. I budgeted better. I spent my time in more redeeming ways. So being single later on in life as a man in his late 30s actually served me well. So I went on road trips by myself. I'm an introvert by nature, so I like to spend time alone. But going to restaurants was kind of uncomfortable by myself, but I learned to overcome that and to go eat by myself, to sit at a table by myself, to go watch movies by myself. So I learned how to be comfortable with who I am and all the flaws that comes with being me. And so I created some very healthy boundaries. And so by the time I met Tiffany, I really do believe that I was able to, be in a very deep and very rewarding relationship with her because I got to know myself. Another benefit for staying single so late was that I was set in my career. I knew what I wanted to do, so I focused on that. I put a lot of energy and effort into being in the military, and we don't have to worry about money. We're so blessed by God that we don't have to worry about money or some of the other things that would normally be worrisome, but I invested and allowed ourselves to be where we are today. So if you're single, would you count it as a blessing? A time where you can work on yourself, a time where you can work on your career, a time where you can really put efforts into becoming the best version of yourself. So let me bring it home. Let me conclude with this. Don't make marriage the ultimate thing, because if you make it the ultimate thing, it will let you down. But at the same time, don't make singleness the ultimate thing, because it will also let you down. Don't put either on a pedestal. Don't look down on either one. Enjoy your time as a single person and enjoy your time as a married person. Some of us will never marry, and that's a blessing. Singles, you can be a blessing to married couples. You can teach them so many things. You're not worth any less. Married couples, you can be a blessing to singles. So having both is a great thing, and I think married couples and singles, you can learn from each other. So if you take anything from our video today, would you take this with you? If you're single, enjoy that time in your life, enjoy that season in your life, and work on yourself and see all the benefits of being single. And if you're married, you can be a blessing to singles and work on your relationship with your spouse as well. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Would you comment below, what has your experience been like as a single? we would love to learn from you as well. Would you comment and let others know? And we would love to hear about your experience. So until next time, please take care of yourself, and we'll see you soon.
Be
Bye-bye.
safe, be healthy.